kindly please to pay attention to the details, because I'm going to ask you questions. I'm going to talk to you today about 2 points, not one, 2 points. The first point is that the gospel reading today has the same subject of the gospel reading next Sunday. And why is that? Because the gospel is talking to us about farming. And we know that in our homeland, Egypt, and in Sudan, farming is very important, where the farmers are going to throw their seeds, right, and start to plant in order to get the fruits or the vegetables or whatever they are planting, and they sell it, and they live on it, right? So it is a season of farming. This is why the gospel reading today and the gospel reading next Sunday, which happens very rarely, both of them are about farming, because the church would like to pray for the farmers who are the congregation, and to pray for the vegetation, and also there is a spiritual meaning to it, which we are going to talk about it, God willing, in more details next week. So this is the first point, that the gospel reading today and next Sunday about farming, right? The sower who went out to throw some seeds in order to plant something. And then the second point, that شوف Uncle هنا هوت is holding the picture of Saint George, because we are celebrating these days for Saint George, who is the patron saint in our church. Our church has 3 patron saints. Look at this: Saint Mary the Virgin, Saint George, and Saint Rueiss. And Saint George, we are celebrating for him this weekend, and also up to the middle of the week. Saint George, we learn from him that he did not change his religion. He did not change his religion or his values, no matter what. So at his time, the ruler was persecuting the church. The ruler was putting lots of pressure for people to change their religion. And Saint George was one of them. He said, absolutely not. I am not going to change my religion. I am not. And I am not going to change my values. My values and my behavior is according to the Holy Bible. And under no circumstances that I am going to change my values. So they threatened him, and they said, we're going to hit you. We're going to kill you. And you know how many years? For 7 years. He was suffering because he said no. He said, no, I am not going to change my values. I am not going to change my religion. And this is the same for us. People in the world will say, okay, change your religion. We say no. Or they say, change the values on which your parents raised you. You said, no, absolutely not. I am not going to change my religion or my values at all. And for 7 years, they made St. George to be suffering, and he said, absolutely not. This is why Uncle is holding the picture of St. George, and you can see Satan here is very small. He's very, very bad. You don't even want to look at him. He's very, very small, but St. George is very big, because St. George was victorious over Satan. And St. George, we learn from him something very important today. Do not please change your values. Do not change what your parents are telling you. Do not change what the Holy Bible is telling you, no matter what. And one time they got a cup of water, and they put some poison on it, and they wanted St. George to drink it so that they make him to die. Guess what he did? He always used the cross. He always used the cross as a sign of power. So he got the cup, and he did this. Look, he put the sign of the cross on the cup. 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, and he drank it, and nothing hurt him at all. Although they put a lot of poison, because he used the power of the cross. Before you sleep, put the cross on yourself. Before you eat, put the cross on the food that you're eating. Put the cross, put the sign of the cross every time you do something to gain the power of the cross. So St. George manifested this to us a lot, that he held on to his faith and he was using the sign of the cross. Question time. Because I said watch the details. How many items did I cover this time? How many? Yes. Bravo عليكي. 2 items. The first item is about what? Why is the gospel reading today and next Sunday are repeated? Why? Yes. Farming, exactly, because in our homeland in Egypt and in Sudan, they farm at this time, and they wanted to them to put the seeds and also to remind about spiritual things that we're going to cover later on, farming. Okay? And what is the second point? Who did we talk about today? Yes, St. George. And he is our patron saint. With whom? With whom? Yes. With whom? He's our patron saint. With whom? Yes. With St. George, with St. Rueiss. ومين كمان? Yes. Bravo عليك. And St. Mary. Always St. Mary. Regardless of the names of the saints in the church, always St. Mary. St. Mary plus. So St. Mary plus. So even our side church here, our side church is named St. Flobatir and St. Shnuda. Guess what? The patron saints over there is St. Mary plus St. Flobatir and St. Shnuda. And what do we learn from St. George? Now, was he easy to change his religion, or he was so firm? Was he easy to change his religion or so forth? Yes. He said no. No, I'm not changing. Was he easy to change his values, or was he so hard? Yes, hard. He said, no, I don't change my values for anything, no matter what. Like when you go into the world and they say such and such item, you check it out to see if the church is approving it, if your parents are approving it, then you do it. Otherwise, you say, absolutely not. I'm not going to change my values. What did he use to defend himself against the poison? Yes. Bravo عليك. The cross. Exactly, the cross. So they put some water and some poison in the water, and they asked him to drink it. What did he do? Yes?
He did the sign of the cross 3 times.
Bravo عليك. He put the sign of the cross 3 times, and they drank it, and nothing hurt him. Use the sign of the cross. When the time comes for you to sleep, put the sign of the cross. When the time comes for you to eat, put the sign of the cross. Put the sign of the cross always, because you are going to get the power of the cross in your life, as who did it in the story today. Who put the sign of the cross today? Yes? Bravo عليك. St. George did. Glory be to God forever and ever. Amen. And I have nice pictures.